Good afternoon, Anne Arundel County. Good afternoon, America. Welcome to episode 33 of Promoting Don't Get Fooled Again with Class. I'm your host, Anthony Bynum. The name of our production company is the Glen Burnie Players. There are some exciting things going on here in Anne Arundel County. Some exciting things. Let's talk a little bit about some of the things we're doing here with the show. Okay. So last week I mentioned that we had an affiliate, our first affiliate, Amherst, Mass, Amherst Media, actually, and they're located in Amherst, Mass. It's a cable access station up there. They are running our show at 7 p.m. That's channel 12. I saw it last week on their website. It's very exciting. Matter of fact, the show right before that was a show out of Europe that was about their a laboratory system, like as in looking at things through the constellations, that kind of thing. And it was extremely well done. It wasn't something that they produced. It was just a well done show. And our show ran right after that. Well, after there was a PSA, but then our show ran after that. So that was pretty good company, I think. Well, this week we have another affiliate. This affiliate is in Greenbelt, Maryland. They have a cable access station there. And I became a member. And now our show is going to be aired on there. Now they have two stations. They push on two channels actually. They have Verizon Fios channel 19 and Comcast 77. The show is going to be run from 12/2 to 12/8, so 1 week. We're going to be running the Spelling Bee episode just like we did in Amherst, Mass. It's going to be on at 1:25 p.m. and 5:25 p.m. It's going to be after some sort of a PG County Science Bowl. Sounds like a competition of sorts. Again, good programming choices. You want to be around good shows, not bad shows, good shows. People are warmed up, watch the science, and then they get a chance to watch a spelling bee with dignity and grace. So I'm pretty excited about that. This week, and I've already mentioned last week, or last 2 weeks actually, that the Ferndale Christmas tree lighting is going to be on Saturday from 3 to 5. They're going to have some fun over there over at Senator Wagner's Field. You get a chance to check it out. It's supposed to warm up a little bit this weekend, so it's a good time to do it. Also, though, on Sunday, the Lithicum Veterans Memorial organization is going to be sponsoring their Christmas tree lighting. That's going to be at the memorial right there. I think it's Camp Mead and Orchard, I think. Last week, if you saw this episode, you saw where I showed a picture of the brick that I had dedicated to my father, Master Sergeant Edward Bruce Bynum. Well, those are the people who do those types of things. Everything we do on the show is about community, right? Those things that bind us together. So let's continue. This weekend, 12/2, we have our shoot at Rego Productions. This is for Maryland Men of the Cloth. I'm so excited about this opportunity to interview 3 ordained ministers and to peel back the onion a little bit in their lives. Now, when that episode is completed, that'll be episode 10. It'll be a little while, because it takes a little while to do the editing. But yeah, I think we have a friend in Rego Productions. I think we have a friend in Tori Pocock. So those are some of the exciting things that are happening in conjunction with the store, rather with the show. So to do our first person today, our person we admire out of history, I need to do a little screen share. So let's start that up. And there it is right there. And push this button over here. Charles Drew, Dr. Charles Drew. So Charles Drew is the father of the modern day blood bank. He was an American surgeon and medical researcher. His research majored in the field of blood transfusions. He also developed improved techniques for blood storage. Charles Richard Drew was born 6/3/1904. He died April 1st, 1950. It was his work with blood banks that allowed medics to help save thousands of lives during World War II. Now, he grew up in Washington, D.C., in a middle-class family. His dad was a carpet layer. His mother was trained as a teacher. From the start, this guy only knew how to go at one speed, and that was hard. He attended Dunbar High School. He earned an athletic scholarship to Amherst College in Massachusetts, not that far from, I think that's in Medford, I think that's where Amherst is. or it might be Western Mass. I'm gonna have to double check that. But he won that scholarship in track. But he also played football. So not only was he brilliant, but he was a great athlete. The guy had everything going on. After college, he spent his first 2 years at Morgan College. Then it was Morgan College, now Morgan University, as a professor of chemistry and biology. But he was also the school's first Black athletic director. So the guy had options. He applied to both Howard and Harvard Medical School. Both, he was accepted to both. But Howard, I noted that he needed some prereqs. Harvard wanted him to defer a year. So he chose to go to McGill University in Montreal, Canada. You may recall a few weeks ago, I mentioned a young actor, Canadian actor named William Shatner, chose to go to McGill University. So it's a well-known university in Montreal. At McGill, he worked with John Beatty, who was conducting research with the potential correlations between blood transfusions and shock therapy. So this is all wide open. It's all new stuff. And this guy was brilliant. And what happens? Brilliant people find a way, right? So let's see where I was here. Yeah, he ranked second out of a class of 127 other people trained to become doctors. Now, in 1935, after he received his medical degree in medicine, he returned to Howard, this time as a faculty instructor. He joined Freeman's Hospital, which was associated with both Howard and the federal government. A few years later, 1940, before the U.S. entered World War II, Drew was recruited by John Scudder to help set up and administer early prototype program for blood storage. So he's making a name for himself. People are recognizing him. Industry leaders are recognizing this guy. Drew eventually left for New York as a medical director, or was appointed medical director for the U.S. That's not quite accurate. And he left for New York as a medical director for the U.S. Blood for Britain project. So while the U.S. is not actually in the war, we're trying to help, help Britain out. In 1941, he was appointed the director of the first American Red Cross blood bank. But he wasn't there all that long. He resigned. He was a man of principle. You see, the Army did not want the blood from Black soldiers, African American soldiers, to be made available for people who were not African American. I guess that's about the nicest way to say that. So he said, you guys don't understand the science of blood, and I can't be part of this. Now, a few years earlier, he had married a Mimi Lenore Robbins, a professor of home economics at Spelman. They had 3 daughters and a son. And they were brilliant kids, right? That gene pool. Ooh, what a problem to have, right? Now, Dr. Drew did die tragically in a car accident. But let me give you a little background here, okay? Because there's some information that's out there that's not accurate. He was traveling with 3 other physicians to Tuskegee in Alabama for a conference. And they were in North Carolina. And, they wanted to stop at a hotel and they wanted to just rest so they could, get their energies and keep on going. But due to Jim Crow laws at the time, they couldn't find a place to do that. They drove through. Dr. Drew was at the wheel and he just was exhausted. He just fell asleep. The injuries were severe. He actually they interviewed, according to what I read, they actually interviewed another doctor in the car. The other 3 doctors had minor injuries, but Dr. Drew shared the brunt of all the injuries. His foot was actually trapped underneath the either the brake or the gas, and it just led to massive amounts of blood loss. And it was so great that it took his life. There was just nothing that could be done. So that's how it's written in Wikipedia. And again, it's based on an interview with one of the surviving physicians. Dr. Drew was a giant. You just don't have the guys who are brilliant and great athletes. It's just a great man before his time, no doubt about it. So we're going to prepare for the next, there we go, and I'm going to stop sharing. So the last couple of weeks in the segment regarding Anne Arundel County, I spent time talking about infrastructure. Last week, we looked at a business, McKinsey & Associates. This week, we're going to get back to our roots, as they say. Last weekend, I was at a friend's house, and I met someone new at that meeting, and he told me about a place in Anne Arundel County called Shadyside. I hadn't heard of it. And that's kind of where we started the show, talking about the different towns in Anne Arundel County. So we'll talk a little bit about Shadyside. I'm going to go to the screen share. And push this button here. Perfect. Okay, so according to the 2010 census, I don't know why 2020 census numbers aren't out. Shadyside had a population of 5,803 people, so it's a small little town. In 1790, it was known as the Great Swamp. So chances are in 1790, nobody lived there. If you can see, well, first of all, it's located on the western shore of the Chesapeake Bay and is to the south of Deal. Some of the historical structures include Captain Salem Avery's house. You can look at this. I'm going to see if this will blow up for us. Well, it's a little better. You can kind of see where it's located. It's kind of a better picture in good old Anne Arundel County, right there on the water, right? So I'm going to stop sharing. Actually, what's this house over here? This might be of interest. That says House of Shadyside. Well, it looks like a nice house to me. Okay, so let's go ahead and shut. Well, what's this right here? Is that the post office? Got to be a post office. Can't have a town without a post office. Okay, I guess that's enough. Let's go ahead and stop sharing. So I'm always looking for some sort of connection, right? We're going to do a speech. Is there some sort of relationships with another theme that we've tackled? If there's a poem, this one is from Poem Hunter. Forgot to give them credit in the beginning. Is there a connection? Well, this one kind of is. The town we talked about was Shadyside. The poem is called Shade. Kind of close, right? This poem was written by Theodosia Garrison. I'm going to read it to you. It's quite good. The kindest thing God ever made, his hand a very healing laid upon a fevered world, is shade. His glorious company of trees throughout those mantles, and of these, the dusty stained wanderer finds ease. Green temples closed against the beat of noontime's blinding glare and heat, open to any pilgrim's feet. The white road blisters in the sun. Now half the weary journey is done. Enter and rest, O weary one, and feel the dew of dawn still wet beneath thy feet, and so forget the burning highways ache and fret. This is God's hospitality, and whoso rests beneath a tree hath cause to thank him gratefully. Yes, shade. Theodora Garrison. So just to recap, very exciting times here in Anne Arundel County. 2 additional stations that are going to carry our message out to whoever wants to hear that message. One out there in Amherst, Massachusetts, Western Mass. One in Greenbelt, Maryland, which is PG County here in Maryland. Of course, you already know about AAC TV, that's Anne Arundel County Community Access. It's an underutilized resource. Cable access is kind of like ham radio, and it's kind of like shortwave radio. It's underutilized. We've gotten, I'm not going to say we've gotten spoiled, but we have a lot of choices in our media. But I think we need to use as many of them to their fullest ability that we can. So, for everyone here at the Glen Burnie Players, my name is Anthony Bynum. Until next time, bye-bye.